Hi everyone, my name is Ariana and I am the owner and creator behind Nana's Creative Studio. Welcome to my studio. In this video, you'll be seeing me making various different types of products. I'm first starting off with some soaking salts, and then at the end of the video, I will be making some shower steamers. This is going to be more of a podcast style video where I talk about various different topics and things that I feel y'all should know. So I hope you enjoy the video. To start off with, I'm making 3 different types of soaking salts, and those various types are the 3 different types I'm making in this video are the Sleepy Time soaking salts, the Roses and Bubbles, which is some soaking salts that actually create bubbles. That one is very luxurious and relaxing. And the last one is the Soothing soaking salts, and those are made with oatmeal, colloidal oatmeal, that to help soothe any irritation or maybe psoriasis, any type of bug bite. It just helps with the soothing aspect of it, as well as the essential oil blend that goes in there. Now here I'm making sure there's no big clumps of Epsom salts. It just helps to mix later, making sure that everything is as clump free as possible. You might be wondering, okay, so what is my business? What am I about? I started my business back in 2019. And in that business, I started off as a crafting business. I had just gotten a Cricut, and I had several months under my belt of making shirts and making some cards and things like that. My husband actually got me the Cricut because I had reached a really bad low in my life where I was questioning what it was that I was supposed to do. It wasn't a feasible thing for me to work, because we have 4 kids, and the child care costs would be through the roof if I were to be working, and I would just work to pay the child care. So it wasn't feasible for me to work, and I had spent a good maybe decade at home, and while I was fine, I was starting to get restless. I was starting to question what my purpose in life was, what it was that I was supposed to do, and I basically I was in a depression, and I was suffering from anxiety and all sorts of other things. Crafting and creating has always been an outlet for me. It helps me relax. It helps me get my mind off of things. It occupies my mind. And that was one of the reasons why he got me the Cricut, because it was something to help me. So I first started with making cards and making shirts and just random little things here and there. I never really thought that it could be a business. I rolled with it, and then friends and family caught on to things that I was making, and they started wanting to order from me, and I never really thought that it could be something that I could turn into a business. So I didn't really have a page. I didn't know what to charge, and I probably undercharged on various occasions, which is okay because I was not in it to make money. But in August of 2019, I decided, okay, maybe with enough orders and with enough interest, I decided, okay, I'm gonna make it a business. So I forged ahead. I created a DBA, and I filed all the necessary paperwork. I did what I needed to do, and on August 31st, 2019, I launched Nana's Creative Studio, and I garnered business. I started off very successfully, and it was very it was very interesting the way things worked out, and how I didn't know what to expect. I was just putting stuff out there, stuff that I made, and it was fun. And then the pandemic hit, and my business took a really bad hit. Without being able to go to the stores, without being able to have contact with people, and having my kids home all of a sudden and switching over to a whole bunch of things, it really threw us for a loop. I kind of sort of put the business on the back burner because I was trying to navigate with my kids the new normal that we were currently in at that time, trying to keep everybody safe, trying to keep everybody, just as healthy as possible. My husband works in a grocery store, so it was, a matter of just staying as healthy as possible and trying to make sure nobody got infected. And my mental health took a big hit all over again. Anxiety crept up, and I suffered from really bad anxiety and depression in a way, because it was just like we were basically barricaded in our homes and we had nowhere to go. We couldn't go anywhere, not necessarily that we ever went anywhere. We hardly go out. We're very introverted people. It's more the fact that it was just like the necessities, the needing to go to the store, or the needing to go, visit family or things like that. And we were unable to for a good while. And even then, with my husband working, it was even more so, because I didn't want to put anybody at risk in case he did come into contact with somebody. I was not willing to risk anybody else's health. So, my mental health spiraled after that. And my husband ordered me a candle making kit. And I have always loved candles. I am an avid candle lover. I'm always burning a candle. I love different types of scents, but my ultimate favorite is gotta be lavender. Anything lavender or lavender vanilla, I absolutely love. And I was amazed at how simple it was. I thought it was a whole lot harder. And that was my first introduction to candle making and to what it was I could be possibly making. It was very, I don't want to say enlightening, but it was just very soothing. What I didn't know is that although the kit was easy, it most definitely is not something easy to do. Everything in the kit already comes pre-measured according to the size kit that you order. And everything was pre-packaged. All the weights were done for you, all the formulations and everything like that, the wicks, everything. Going into making your own candles without using a kit is something completely different. And when I started seriously considering it, because of how soothing and relaxing and the different types of scents that I could create, the different types of candles that I could create, and create a unique product to myself and offer something that's different that big name brand stores and stuff like that do not carry, intrigue me. I am of the mind that everybody deserves a little bit of me time. Everybody deserves to be able to light a candle at the end of the day and take a bath or read a book or take a sip of wine or drink a cup of wine and things like that. It's just, and that, to me, a candle enhances that. It enhances that vibe, the vibe of relaxation, the vibe of just pure joy. And it is something that I wanted to gift to other people. So with the candles that I made, I gifted them to family and some friends, and they loved them. They thoroughly enjoyed them. And I started researching, and I started to really look at videos and seeing which was the best way to go about it, researching the products, researching fragrance oils, researching wicks, researching candle jars, everything under the sun I researched, and I made the choices in jars and wicks and all of that stuff through trial and error. Everything. I spent months before I even launched the candles and offered them for sale in my shop. I continued to make shirts. I took shirt orders. I even decaled some cups. I made some window decals as well. And I went from there, and I really immersed myself into the candle and wax melt making, and the shirt making took a back burner. In a sense, I still did it. I would do it upon request, but it was not something that I really wanted to focus on. My focus had shifted, and that's okay, because when you're in a business, you're going to do what you want, and you have to know that that's okay. Not everybody is meant to make just one thing. I am the type of person that I have various interests, and although I love crafting and card making and shirt making, because who doesn't like to make themselves a cute shirt every once in a while, right? I have always loved, like I said, candles. Candles are a thing of mine, and wax melts, and of course room sprays. You can't go wrong with room sprays. They just smell magnificent to me, and to get it in, to get a trio, a set of the three, I mean, you can't go wrong. Your house is going to be smelling amazing. So I researched, and I made my decisions on which ingredient products I was going to make, what kind of candle jars I wanted to help distinguish my brand from what was already out there. I wanted to do different types of scents. I didn't want to do the main ones that were already out there. I wanted something different. So I started researching fragrance oil companies and the different types of wax that were offered, and I researched the benefits, the pros and the cons of everything, and I made my final selections, and I placed an order. From there, it just really spiraled. I started making candles, testing them, and I am biased on the products that I make. I know I think everybody does. Everybody thinks not everybody, but I think that the products that I make I stand behind them. I know that the products that I make are quality products. They are good products. And I gifted friends candles, and they gave me back their critiques, their reviews, and I made adjustments according to that. I started designing my labels. I just really started to immerse myself in that, and I found a different creative outlet than I had ever done, and I thoroughly enjoyed the process, and I went with it. I rolled with it, and I went from there, and I started offering them for sale, and I went with it. And I keep saying that because it's true. When you're opening up a business, when you're trying something new, doing something new, you just roll with it. You roll with what happens, with what's given, with what you do, with what you decide, everything. You roll. I mean, there's nothing, unless you're going to stop yourself, there's really nothing that you can do except roll with it. And then everything fell into place from there. I made candles, wax melts, and eventually I added on room sprays. And then I started I was also still crafting at the time, and at that time I had gotten into making hair bows, and I was doing that as well, and I was making shirts and still doing decals and things like that. And it was just fun because in my creative mind, all my outlets, all of my creativity was being used. And I was feeling amazed. I was feeling great. My mind was at ease. I wasn't having as much anxiety as I had been. My kids were thoroughly enjoying the candles that I was making and the wax melts. They've always enjoyed the things that I make, school things and stuff like that. After the pandemic, when everything reopened, I would make them fun school shirts and things like that, and they thoroughly enjoy it. I still do it now for school events. So I mean, just to have mom make you a personalized shirt is fun. And it gradually grew from there, slowly but surely. I was putting my product out there, and friends and family were supporting me, sharing the page and helping me grow it and things like that. And while I was doing the research and the testing and all of that stuff for the candles and the wax melts and the room sprays, I watched so many YouTube videos, and I was trying to figure it out in a way to where I could get the best formula for it, because I didn't want to, how can I put it? You're bound to make mistakes, and you learn from the mistakes. The thing was that figuring out the specific formula that I needed for my jars and the wax that I was using and the wicks that I was using and the fragrance oil weight, I needed guidance. The kit that I had originally done, like I said, had everything pre-measured and pre-done for you. So I started watching loads of YouTube videos, and the two people that helped me out the most were Erica Morris at Memory Box Candle Co. and Stanley Handcrafted. I watched their videos religiously, and they are the ones that really guided me and opening up and getting it down and getting it right and getting my candles to where I knew that they were great to sell. And shortly after launching my own website, because at that point I had been on Etsy, and that's a whole nother thing. But after shortly starting up my own website, I tried my best to get traffic to it, but it's hard. It is so hard with the way that social media is always changing, and it's hard still. What I ended up doing was that I ended up really looking into local markets, and at that point there was very few to pick from. But because the pandemic was was going on at full time at that point, everything was shut down. So I can say that almost immediately after launching my own website, the pandemic happened. So that didn't help in any way either. So what I started doing is that I started looking into local markets and seeing what was available near me, because I don't want to travel an hour to go to a market. I still do only local markets to myself, and that is just a personal choice. I have 4 kids here at home that I am home with at all times, and I can't be dragging them along for over an hour to go to different markets. But in early to 2021, I started doing markets, and I started with one there in San Benito, and I am still a part of that one, and I still do local markets. I still have my website. I do have Etsy, but I kind of have that one running on solo at this point. But I mean, it's just a hit and miss. I hope that you've enjoyed our little talk, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.